What's up, everybody? Welcome to The Revival, and today I'm talking about the game that got me into JRPGs. So, growing up, I played a lot of games that were... I played the usual stuff, you know, Mario, Sonic, just kind of went through the normal motions of platformers and kind of just, like, Zelda was probably the most, like, story-focused game that I played. And I mean, I barely paid any attention to it. If you saw my review on that, you know that I just wasn't the reason that I kept playing. And that was the same for every single game. You could tell, obviously, from certain themes and stuff, like what you were. Like, you play Contra, obviously, you know you're a commando in the jungle or, you know, snow area, wherever you're fighting in that game, and you're shooting stuff. And you can kind of draw your own conclusions from what's going on. They'll give you a little bit of flavor text somewhere in the game, kind of telling you what's happening or what's going on. But it wasn't, like, the reason that you played. And that was until I played Final Fantasy II on the Super Nintendo. 2 in the US, 4 overseas. I think everybody kind of knows it universally as 4 now, for the most part. But I think I may have mentioned this before in my Final Fantasy VI video, that I had the first time I ever saw 6, which is my favorite game of all time, obviously. And was at a friend's birthday party when I was, God, I don't even remember my age. I was younger, obviously, and it was the early 90s to mid 90s. And I was at a friend's house and he was playing 6, and he asked if he could borrow Mario Paint, which I had, and I asked him, okay, well, can I borrow a game? And he knew I was eyeing 6 because I thought it looked cool on the TV, and he's like, I'm playing that, so no, sorry, but you can try this one, and he gave me 2. So I was like, all right, cool, because you know, if you look at the boxes, the pictures are kind of similar. So it's like, all right, well, we'll see what I'm getting out of this one. So I took it home, played it. I mean, it grabbed hold like right away. I had never seen, like, I've always been somebody who enjoys reading, so like that wasn't an issue for me. I know there's a lot of people who are like, oh, I just can't stand all the text and, you know, skipping through it and all that silly. And for me, I absolutely adored that. I loved just getting to that next story element and actually seeing what was going to be happening next. I loved reading all that extra stuff. I loved talking to random NPCs and getting a little bit more flavor about the world. And I enjoyed the hell out of just playing that game. I did not get very far. I remember getting to, for those of you who have played the game, I got to pretty much where you get Yang, and that was it. Yang, however you want to say it. But that was like as far as I'd gotten, and so I didn't even know there was like a whole, like, you become a paladin and do all this extra stuff, and it was crazy when I eventually did see that. It was just nuts. But I was like, this is so cool. So I had the game for a long time, and because I spent so much time like exploring and talking to NPCs and learning like turn-based combat, which I'd never seen before, ATB technically, but I was just like blown away by all these new things I'd never seen before, which is a big reason I didn't get very far. And I remember giving the game back to Steve, was the guy's name. I got my Mario Paint back, and I remember not being able to get it out of my head, just because it was just so, like, I was like, I gotta know what happens next. I gotta know freaking what's going on with Cecil and Rydia and Kane, and I gotta find out, because it's killing me that I don't have this game right now. So I did something that I did not do very often back then, because I always just assumed the answer was going to be no, and so I wouldn't even ask until it was Christmas or my birthday. And it's only happened twice in my life where I've done this on a whim. And funny enough, both times it worked. The other one was with Earthbound, which I'll talk about at some point. But I went to my mom and I was like, Mom, there's this game that I really want that I got to play, and I was wondering if you'd buy it for me. And she said, yeah, let's go pick it up. I think we went like that weekend or something like that. But Mom, you're the best, because I remember driving to like 5 or 6 places trying to find this thing. Funkoland at the time, different retail outlets, like I think we went to like Best Buy, Target, and the usual places, and there was nothing. I mean, I knew most likely we were going to end up having to buy it used at some point, and I was not expecting to find it new because it wasn't super new at the time that we were looking, and I remember in the car, like, trying to get it when we were driving around from place to place. I'm sitting there and I'm just telling her, like, the story of Cecil the Dark Knight, who is kind of trying to redeem himself a little bit for the things that he had done for his king that he didn't agree with, trying to protect Rydia and all this stuff. And I just so vividly remember sitting in the car telling her about this stuff. And I knew, you know, she was just kind of humoring me as a kid. Like, oh, that sounds cool. Okay, yeah, I'm sure he hits those bad guys good. You know, and I was just so excited. And I think she could see that. I think that's why she was like, all right, we'll get this for you. And eventually we did find it, and I still have the original copy that we got that day. And when I got home, this is probably the RPG that I've beaten. Maybe Secret of Mana. I've beaten that many times. This is one of the RPGs that I've beaten several times over. I'm typically not huge on replaying RPGs just because they're so long and I'd rather try something new. But Final Fantasy series, obviously, if you know me, that's my world. And I have played this game front to back so many times. I absolutely still adore it to this day. It's easily in my top 10 games of all time, and anytime somebody says that they're not into RPGs, I always recommend this. Like, as long as you can get past the graphics, which to me, I think still look great, because sprite graphics never really age. It's kind of a really cool art style that I still enjoy. But, man, I cannot recommend this game enough if you do not mind giving old school games a shot and you're not into RPGs. This is a really, really great one to start with. So I just thought I'd kind of share that story of how amazing this game is and how much it means to me. This obviously isn't a review or anything. I'd like to do one at some point. I'd like to do a whole series. That's kind of what the Zelda video was that I released recently. Kind of a test run to see if I could do it. So who knows? But I just absolutely adore this game, and again, can't recommend it enough. Clearly, because I'm gushing right now, and I just keep going. So I'll just end it there. So thank you for watching. As always, subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff. Tell me what game got you into JRPGs, or whatever genre you're into. If you're into fighting games, what game got you into that? Yeah, just let me know. And as always, keep on gaming.